Hi there, Dave Schwartz here, author of Roll the Bones, The History of Gambling, which is now out in the scintillating Casino edition. Here with another chapter summary. Today I'm talking about chapter 14, which is called Runaway American Dream, and it's about the spread of gambling throughout the United States. And yes, I did get this title from Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. As a New Jersey native, I think that's kind of mandatory. But anyway, I focus on the spread of casinos throughout the U.S. in this chapter, and I start off by talking about Indian casinos, also known as tribal government gaming. This is gambling on Indian reservations. And instead of just throwing you into, hey, here's the first Indian casino that opened up and that, I try to give a little bit of perspective. So I talk about some of the federal Indian policy that led to the decisions in the 1980s that led to the expansion of Indian gaming. Most important is 1987's Supreme Court ruling in the Cabazon case, and then 1988's Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. Both of those together paved the way for the spread of Indian casinos across the country. And I talk about some of the states with sizable tribal government casinos like Connecticut, California, Minnesota, and Oklahoma, just to name a few. Then I talk about the spread of riverboat gambling, which started in Iowa in 1989. First casino opened there in 1991. Referendum passed in 1989, and then spread to a lot of other states, mostly in the Midwest and the Mid-South. And I also discuss how this has morphed in the past couple of years to land-based gambling in many of those states. So they started out on the rivers with boats. Originally, the boats had to navigate, had to sail. Then they let them just be docked. Then they allowed boats and moats, and now they're allowing casinos on dry land. Also talk about limited gambling in South Dakota and Colorado. This was another of the early waves of gambling, 89-90, where they did allow gambling on dry land, but they limited to certain cities, and they also limited the bet sizes. And those limits have been expanded over the years. Finally, the chapter talks about the wave of urban gambling that's been building for a while, and it's really been in the news a lot lately. First, you have New Orleans and Detroit, which were back in the 90s, and lately you've had Ohio and Pennsylvania both opening up to more urban-type gambling, and you've got Massachusetts on the horizon, Maryland as well. So this is really the latest paradigm for gambling, is putting your casino into a big city. So basically, this chapter takes us from having casinos in two states, Nevada and New Jersey, if you're keeping score at home, to casinos pretty much nationwide, whether they're tribal government casinos or commercial casinos regulated by states, or racinos, which I also talk about here, which is the merger of racetracks with slot machines. So a little bit about all three. That's the chapter. For more information about the book, including where to order it, you can go to rollthebonesbook.com. Thank you very much.